So 30k looking so strong. I would say they're probably the better team. They just need to not throw the game. They are going to go ahead and get rid of that Gazgo, who's so annoying in every single team fight. Even though it didn't do that much the previous game, it's just so hard to deal with. Chromie Man probably going to come in on crowd control. It's like they are scared more so of the Cassia than they are of Chromie. And the Junkrat band still coming in as well from 30k here. Again, I would expect the Chromie band. You really don't want to leave that up. It's just so hard to deal with. That's the Medivh getting banned. Neither team respecting the Chromie. So might as well just first pick it. Honestly, crowd control could just take your rel themselves in order to get it off Vespertine's hands. Which will very likely result in a Thrall coming out on 30k if they go that route. There we have it. We have the Joanna and the Hero coming in for crowd control, so you don't have to take the time to ban it. You can just pick it yourself. And now you've got the broken hero on your team. Problem is that Joanna is not that good. Like we saw Falling Sword the previous game, mostly used defensively. I don't recommend taking that talent. We will very likely see a Thrall from 30k coming in, possibly even a Zeratul. And I say that because if crowd control take the time to ban out Zeratul, I assume they're afraid of it being used on 30k. As to what they would ban here, Tychus came in big. Is it that good on this map? It's okay. Tychus is very okay here, but it would be good against the Joanna Yrel, so we might see a Tychus ban coming out from crowd control. They do get the next two picks. They could also pick the Tychus, but they value the D.Va ban over the Tychus ban, and I don't know that we would have seen D.Va come in for 30k. It does not work with their team comp overly well right now, and we might see a Deathwing ban from 30k right now. But essentially even Jaina. Jaina would actually be nasty for crowd control at the moment. Okay, they ban out the Li Ming. Point is, crowd control is going to want to take a mage to try to help well, control this point. But they have the luxury to wait on that. They can last pick it if they so choose because 30k already has their mage. It's unlikely they'll take a second one, so crowd control has as much time to take a mage as they want. In the meantime, Decker K might actually be good here if they were to pick a hero. Stukov is okay. Looks like they just want to stick with Diana. I don't know how good of a choice that is, given the type of heroes that 30k is coming in with. Anna might have a bit of a hard game here, just like the previous game. Good news is that Yrel cannot jump her this game, so Anna's going to have an easier time. There's a lot more CC coming out in crowd control, and they're living up to their name a little bit more. Got the Chen and the Vala coming in. Vala actually very weak these days. I don't agree with that. I think Raynor is better. I think Tychus is better. I think Greymane is better. I think most any other auto attacker is better than Vala. But Sammy must be very confident in his ability to not get killed by this Yrel, because you can't infinitely kite Yrel. And with the Chen coming in as well, Chen is actually a nasty hero. So we have the Sylvanas Hanzo coming in on crowd control. That actually gives them very low damage as far as finishing people off, because a lot of it's going to be based on hitting people that are going to be either moving very fast or be very far away from you. So beyond ETC, crowd control is actually going to have a hard time killing anyone. There was nothing else that was really wrong with that game. And we got ourselves the second game of the finals coming in. Just make a mistake like that, you move on, you don't even recriminate each other. Both of 30k's offlaners are currently already trying to clear these lanes out. They do not want this fight mid lane. Honestly, you should be doing this in solo queue as well. Crowd control clears out the lane pretty fast, but the Chromie is going to come in big. In terms of clearing it back out, that's a lot of damage coming on Sylvanas. Both teams taking in a good amount of damage. The healers on point, they're instantly reacting to that. Both teams are playing very well right now. That could easily have been both squishies dying, but instead the rotation's already coming in there and they're positioning to take their camps on cooldown as soon as they spawn. They are trying to get this this gank down on Chen, but they realize they're not going to get that kill, so there's no point to it. And crowd control very likely will get their Merc camp first, but it looks like Brightwing and Vala actually got there a little bit faster, and were able to kill it just that much faster. Now there's the rotation bot lane. We do get the sleep coming in on the Vala. Are they going to be able to capitalize on this? They are not. Quasat not as good of a Yrel as Vespertine is. And not doesn't have as quick of reflexes in terms of capitalizing in on that. Lauber positioning a little bit of posturing around the healing camp. I don't think they actually want to do right now, but they are going to try to force it. Sammy and BBJ, meanwhile, trying to take their siege camp. Hasulub's just trying to get the enemy team off this. They are probably going to have to give up this healing camp and just let Lauber take it. Yrel had started moving up towards mid lane to try to help the team during that fight. Did not end up showing up. We do try to get the ETC stun on the Joanna. Drops the Unstoppable. Manages to get away quite easily. In the meantime, 30k has an opening to try to get this wall down before crowd control actually gets their own camp down. Ooh, those are some spicy counterplays coming on Quasat, but it looks like Vespertine is still able to bully the Yrel. He understands that hero inside and out, which means he also understands the counters to it.
I like, if you compare the difference between picking a Vala or a Rainer, I like Vala with her ability to follow up on a Chen. She does a better job of that than Rainer. She's a better pseudo diver, as it were.
Okay. Definitely see that.
There's a little bit of a skirmish going on mid lane, but 30k just focusing on clearing this top lane out, which is going to be spawning. They kind of have to just give the mid lane up a little bit right now while they try to focus on getting level 7. Both teams not trying to force a fight yet. And again, in solo queue, like, both teams would probably already be dead by now, but you do not need to force a fight. Vespertine getting a little bit low. The Sylvan's trying to slow the towers down. The ETC coming in with the stun, coming in with the pull, but the rest of the team is rotating in on this. Vala is still top lane. That might be Vespertine going down. I don't know that he gets away from this one. He's about to take all this damage. Gets the Unstoppable down, does get the heal back up, but it is not enough. Crowd control rotated in on this too fast. They gave up the objective to get that kill. And Vespertine a little bit over-aggressive there. That is an uncharacteristic mistake. I think he overestimated Chen's takiness.
Then Chen and ETC versus 3, and he keeps jumping in, and I'm like, I'm giving a lot of credit here, right? Because why would you do that if it leads in your death?
Right wing coming back in mid lane. They just barely managed to prevent crowd control from getting that full swap. If they had gotten it, crowd control would actually be at 90% already, but instead they're still at 60, and 30k now manages to get the objective a little bit. We are still even on XP, so those kills don't matter that much. What does matter is that 30k is currently giving up the objective in exchange for trying to get this wall down. Lauber does have to go back to base, still has the healing thing up. Hey, how's it going? By the way, I will be posting all these to YouTube eventually, so keep an eye out for that. Anyway, back to the game where nothing is happening so far, but crowd control is posturing like they want to go in. Brightwing is not here. He's going to be late to this fight. If crowd control starts the fight right now, that's the Unstoppable down from Sylvan. She should not be positioning this aggressively anymore. Her hunting wave is down. Crowd control is going to be in a 5v5 now. They missed their chance to go in, and now 30k is going to get that polymorph down. Are they going to kill the Joanna? That's a nice push into the Chromie kill. They do not manage to get the healing thing down before she dies. Most people forget about it. They do still have the turrets down, but now only 30k has a turret up. That is a medallion used from ETC. Has to back out. 30k does not have a tank anymore. Neither does crowd control. It is a 4v4. No tank on either team. Double tower on 30k. Crowd control very likely just have to give this up. They did have enough time to stall for their Joanna to respawn, which is very good for them. Vala actually moving in this by herself. I don't agree with this. You can just burst this down. But Crowd Control does not have anybody mid lane yet. It's just a healer and a tank, which actually gives ETC time to show up and take top lane wall down. They might even be able to get a fort off this if Chromie rotates in on here on time. She is going to be a little bit slow. Had a good amount of damage down to Sylvanas, but the Protector is actually down to half health. It is not going to be doing that much. Got the stun down on Hasuops. This guy is silenced. He's not going to get out of this one. He just barely managed to get out. The Brightwing teleport actually comes in big, saves him. That guy was dead to rights. Crowd Control missed it. Freest kill of all time. Actually ends up bullying him into the wall. Stop the bully, please. But that kill took a lot longer than it should have. 30k probably should have lost like 2 or 3 people there. Instead, they might be able to get this wall down as well. They only have a few seconds left. I don't know why he's rotating top lane. That was a tower down if you want it, but I guess he's afraid of losing a wall down themselves, so they're just going to back out. Very, very good play on both teams so far. Vesper team just harassing these towers a little bit. He knows he's unkillable here. Or sorry, the Yrel. I'm used to Vesper team playing Yrel. And this time 30k secures the healing camp. Let's see if they remember to use it before they die, because that's the biggest problem people have with turrets and healing camps. Like you saw the previous game, Joanna did not use it before she died. That's a big oopsie. Big oopsie. Vala trying to focus on the top camp in the meantime. And I gotta say, this cameraman, though, misses a lot of the action. Like, I have to watch the mini-map a lot of time to see what's happening.
You're right. We've mostly seen it as the escape tool.
Looks like they're trying to get the bot lane wall down with Sylvanas. She's waiting for a gank. I don't know if Chen realizes she's there. They are waiting to go in. Sylvanas just kind of wasting her time right now, doing nothing. There is a 3v3 up top, 4v3 about to be, if Brightwing shows up here, but Brightwing is instead just waiting to take this camp. Anna is also waiting to take this camp, and I generally disagree with this play, just because you're not doing anything on the map, but at the same time, there's nothing important happening on the map. Sylvana's just standing around doing nothing, even though they have full vision on the enemy team. Both teams refusing to take any risks at all right now. It is level 13 versus level 13. Everyone trying to not get caught out. 30k remembers last game where they were winning the entire game and they got caught out and they just lost. They're trying to avoid making any mistakes. Brightwing still just sitting there AFK doing nothing. Vesper team getting harassed a little bit. Meanwhile, Crowd Control got a good amount of damage down on this wall. About as much damage as the Protector did, honestly. But given that Brightwing has been doing nothing this entire time, Crowd Control should have been more aggressive and gotten a lot more damage down there, just afraid to do anything on the map. Because they know that overall 30k still has a stronger team fight. It's just that Crowd Control has managed to catch 30k out a few times. I would say Crowd Control has a little bit better map rotation. This Brightwing's still AFK. The cameraman noticed it too. Zooming in on it, like, are you going to do anything at any point in time during this game? They are. Okay, they just finally did it. Going in on this, they closet down bot lane. Actually, just use the teleport to move down bot lane. That is a mistake. Brightwing does not have a mount, which means Brightwing takes a long time to rotate up top lane. I would not have done that. You did not have kill pressure on your Yrel. Even if you get the polymorph down, you do not kill them. That's a mistake. And now Vala's dead up top lane. So 30k, again, getting out-rotated on the map, which is their biggest problem. Their strength is actually taking team fights, which means they should be forcing 5v5s. They should not be splitting, because Crowd Control is very quick to punish that. And now to try to make up for it, they know that the aim team has 2 people up top. They really want this Mercamp. They have the arrow coming in from the Hanzo, who's going to be coming in on the backside. He will show up pretty soon. There is no chance of Yrel going down here. They still have 3 people bot lane. Vala is now respawning, and they are going to be able to actually contest this objective. They are moving up to it. Yrel is going to be slow rotating in here. The Unstoppable already coming down from Joanna. That's actually kind of big. ETC does have Mosh. Joanna does not have her Unstoppable to deal with that. And she has Falling Sword, which means it is very easy for ETC to actually catch Joanna in a Mosh. Problem is there's a sweep on the Anna. So ETC Mosh, probably the wrong choice here, because it is very easy to sweep him out of it.
hey, you know,
Lauber will secure this healing camp for his team, but he can't pick it up. I don't think his teammates realize that. Okay, they just figured it out. He can't hold two at the same time.
16-16 in levels, and the percentage increasing for the B site right now.
30k got a solid 50% on it. Crowd control will be getting the 99% here. It looks like Yarel is trying to go down a gank on the Chromie, but he does not know that there's actually a time trap there. The sleep already going down on the ETC, which means that is a sleep down for this fight. And 30k just gives us up. That is a spicy crowd control coming in from crowd control. That is a nice combo. That was a perfectly executed arrow into stun, into silence, and now crowd control could just run them down. That was perfect execution. I would have liked to hear voice comms on that. Vesper team doing his best to stay alive here. Brightwing tries to teleport and cannot because the ultimate comes down on Chen. Chen will not be dying here. He still has one alive. He will not get run down. In the meantime, the Protector is doing nothing. So they killed two people on 30k. So far have not used the Protector to do anything, but this should be a fort going down. All of the damage is dead on 30k. They do not have a way of clearing this. Yeah, man, they're living up to the name. CC coming in big. And not only that, they're focusing priority targets. They ignored all the unimportant targets and killed the squishies instantly. You love to see it. Both medallions actually still up on Vala and Chromie. They just were not expecting that. Had no chance to react. They got stun locked, CC locked, silence locked. Nasty stuff. Absolutely nasty stuff. And now Lauber knows he can just force this fort down. 30k absolutely does not have a way of dealing with this. This Punisher, this Protector, still very healthy. ETC trying to look for a fight. He knows the Ana and the Sylvanas are not in this fight. The Unstoppable blocking the arrow for his team. That's one medallion down, 3 medallions left on 30k, 5 medallions left on crowd control, which could end up turning the game. That's actually kind of important.
Tie up this series here.
Still 2 forts down for 30k. And right now, crowd control just not taking any risks at all. They know they have the lead, both in terms of experience, they have the map control, they have the better team fight. And 30k is just walking around with their tails between their legs. They do not know what to do.
To be fair, even
nobody on crowd control mispositioning, nobody on crowd control putting themselves in a place to get ganked, which means 30k actually has no plays to make right now. You cannot force any turrets, you cannot force any towers, you cannot force any camps, you cannot catch anybody out, but they are looking. ETC cannot find anybody right now. They quasi getting harassed just a tiny bit, and the Vala I think is super weak here. I don't think the Vala is going to be what 30k is looking for in order to win these fights.
Than everybody else. Will it be useful against the support camp here?
Again, Tychus actually would have done very well against crowd control. I'm very surprised that they would pick something like this. That's the Unstoppable coming in on the Joanna, who knows she can just go back in and harass them. Oh, the big difference about this game is that we've seen aggressive Joanna ultimates, whereas the previous game, they were all used defensively. Except at the very end where they kind of had the game over. But so yeah, if you're going to take Falling Sword, use it to initiate a fight. You don't use it to disengage, because if you use it to disengage, you just lose the game. If you use it to engage, you just win the game. That's the way Falling Sword works. So you're the tankiest hero in the game. Just tank for your team, basically. And we have the arrow coming in, who just barely misses the Vala. She manages to sidestep a good amount of damage and CC. The Unstoppable coming in on Joanna. There's 2 ultimates down on the crowd control. They do not manage to get the same wombo combo off twice.
Yeah, it seems like you need to turn on Falling Swords as the arrows.
And the Falling Sword actually off cooldown already. Still, the Sylvanas arrow and the Hanzo arrow are down right now. 30k can force a fight. They have all of their ultimates. ETC is looking. Falling Sword coming in. ETC could take advantage of this to try to stop this, but the rest of his team did not show up to us. They lose the fort, they lose the Vala, they lose the ETC. That's 60-second dead timers. This is probably going to be a fort going down. Brightwing actually does not have wave clear, so 30k is trying to take advantage of the Brightwing passive, the Bragwing Global, and Hostile Orbs might just be out here. The Stasis coming in, but it's not going to be enough to keep him alive. As soon as Stasis ends, he gets blown up. Unstoppable is not enough. Bragwing and Chen finally realize they're about to lose a keep. They just show up for the team. And the Hanzo mispositions, tanks a full keep of health. The keep actually did like 90% damage to him. I don't know why he was there. A little bit of a misstep from Crowd Control, but another Falling Sword coming in, used aggressively, used properly. Actually kind of a nasty ability because it comes off cooldown so quickly. But yeah, as I was saying, on Bragwing, you think you're helping the team by solo laning, but the thing is you don't have wave clear. So Bragwing is top lane for a solid like minute and a half while they're losing mid keep. And at worst, the top siege camp would have taken a wall down. So if you lose a wall in exchange for keeping mid keep up, that's a good trade. Okay, you take that trade. It is absolutely a mistake to have the Bragwing up top lane. They were trying to catch up in XP, but now there's a win condition mid lane for crowd control. In that it is very easy to move this Punisher into mid lane and just end the game. That's a giant misstep by 30k. They needed to force a fight underneath their keep. They did not. They just kind of let crowd control do whatever they want, even though there are 60-second timers on both the Hanzo and Sylvanas arrows. They did not take the fight, and that was one of the best chances they had to get back into this game. This might be the 2-0 coming in from crowd control before we go to game 3. And they do notice that the Sylvanas is top lane. They are trying to take the 5v4. At the very least, they pushed crowd control off of this objective, bought a little bit of time, and now they have a chance of coming back in this game. ETC waiting stealthed to see if somebody missteps. Right now, Hanzo and Sylvanas are not here. They are trying to secure the healing camp and just keep top lane pushed in so that 30k is put in a position with no winning options. No matter what option they have, they're in a bad position. Either they lose top keep and get the objective, or they lose the objective and keep top keep up. Right now, 30k realizes if they lose this objective, Quasa doesn't understand why he can't move forward. He didn't realize that there could be somebody stealthed there. Otherwise, he could have punished the ETC super hard right now. Chen looking for a pick. Lauber looking for a pick, looking to use that falling sword. The Chromie's a little bit overextended. Sylvanas tried to punish that. Chromie backed off. Lauber still has the healing totem, actually places down. There's the arrow coming in on the ETC. Not going to do much. Falling sword coming in. That's actually a flash. And a Chen going down. That's a flash on the ETC. 30k is going to be in full retreat mode. Got the ETC stun on 3 people, but the Volley just does not have the damage. CC has all their forts still. That is true. That is 100% true. So even if 30k wins this fight, it's still not going to be that good for them. They managed to get a counter kill back on the Ana. The rest of the team is just so tanky, and this Vala is not able to kite well enough to deal anyone. She was stuck in a corner, could not kite. That's the Falling Sword coming down again, and that's going to be the GG. We're going to a game 3. And at this point in the game, you don't actually even need the Punisher. You have 30-second death timers on the entire enemy team. They are going to take it just because they can, but the game's over anyway because your Rel is unkillable right now. So very good play by crowd control to just take your Rel from 30k. Don't let Vespertine have it. You don't have to ban it out. You had the option to take it. A very good hero. Very good falling swords from Lauber. Did not use them defensively at all that game. That's what you want to see on Falling Sword. Don't take that ability if you're going to use it defensively. All right, either balls to the wall or don't take that ability.